Welcome to DHN. I'm your host, Wade Teamer. In this video, we are going over the latest from the IOTA news feed, starting with the release of the Shimmer blockchain. Now, this is huge for IOTA, as it has been 2 years in the making. The whole time, though, they've been beefing up this thing by testing several IOTA mainnet applications on it before going live. We all know time is money, so let's get right into the news. On September 28th, at the Token 2049 conference, the Shimmer team unveiled the new blockchain amidst several other announcements that took place at the event. Shimmer brings with it a unique model that allows budding developers to release various tokens such as NFTs, real-world tokenized assets, and stablecoins natively on a Layer 1 base network without fees. That's one of the benefits to IOTA, guys. You can mint, issue, redeem tokenized assets without transaction fees. Now, IOTA says that such a design serves as the foundational basis for Shimmer's smart contract execution layer, which will include full Ethereum compatibility. That will be launching in the couple weeks. Another key feature of the Shimmer network is support for bridgeless native asset transfers across the entire Shimmer ecosystem. IOTA, of course, is included in that ecosystem, and that's the biggest takeaway for me here. I have had my eye on IOTA since I got into crypto back in 2019. They specialize in building out connected, or better word here, interoperable networks for real-world devices and assets. However, the one thing that has always been missing from the IOTA sphere is the ability or even relationships with other networks. With Shimmer, though, I think IOTA now has a new player in the game that can interact on its behalf. Currently, Shimmer is sitting at about 8 cents, and the only places you can really get the token are on IOTA native wallets, so we're talking about Firefly. If you're more so inclined to use an exchange, the only one listed is Bitforex. I don't know what that is, just be careful. Next, let's get into some real-world applications already running on IOTA. In Germany, where IOTA is based, by the way, on that note, if you're watching from Germany, hello. Thanks for coming. I pray to God I said that correctly. But let's move on. Project ALFRIED, one of Germany's largest publicly funded infrastructure projects, has undergone a sizable development. Sharang Parnikar, a software and hardware engineer at ETO Group Technologies overlooking the project, released the first traffic pole prototype for the project that leverages the IOTA protocol as its core technology. The ETO Group works on, among other future projects, the future of autonomous driving by developing traffic infrastructure sensor technology. However, one of the biggest challenges is the effective transmission of data to autonomous vehicles regarding the surrounding infrastructure. What the ETO sensor modules will do is play a key role in providing all-around information such as speed, traffic information, and weather conditions. The traffic poles will play a key role in transmitting this information accurately to passing vehicles. The ALFRIED project will help achieve successful data transmission while demonstrating the highest possible levels of autonomy and security in changing traffic and environmental conditions. So, depending on where you are in the US, you might see from time to time Google driving around your town in a Prius with a satellite dish on it. Well, that Prius is gathering geospatial data for self-driving vehicles. This is how they keep their information up to date. What ETO is going to do, or is currently doing, is removing that whole process from the equation in general, turning traffic lights, traffic signals into data aggregators. This is IoT in its purest form, folks. Now, we currently don't have any word on when this will officially be released, but you still might be interested in this next little tidbit. So a few months back, Germany began its move over to 6G. Yeah, you heard that correctly. This is a joint effort by some of the biggest telecommunications companies in the country. 6G ANA, which stands for Access Networks of Networks, Automation and Simplification, is a German Federal Ministry of Education and Research funded program and aims to strengthen the 6G research and development agendas for German and European industries, as well as advance global pre-standardization activities from a German and European perspective. This initiative, and this shocked me, is being led by Nokia. And they're focused on designing an end-to-end 6G architecture and working with other project partners on their key technology areas, which include 6G access, a network of networks, and automation and simplification. In a quote from the project lead over at Nokia, they state, while the first 6G networks are not expected to be commercially available before 2030, we are already laying the technical foundation with advanced 5G, as well as long-term innovation that will drive 6G development. So, as things develop within the IOTA and Shimmer ecosystems, this is what's coming from the other side. At some point, these developments are going to meet in the middle, and that's when the real adoption happens. If we ever get an announcement that IOTA has partnered with Nokia, we know exactly why. These next two stories are going to reinforce that oh so properly. Starting with IOTA's Identity Manager, allowing millions of businesses and organizations to access the IOTA Identity Protocol. Earlier this week, Tango Labs, a platform that builds digital IDs on IOTA, made a major announcement with its Identity Manager. Tango Labs now says that its Identity Manager will allow businesses and organizations to get easy access to IOTA identity applications. IOTA launched its decentralized identity protocols to have complete control over one identity. This is also called self-sovereign identity. These solutions aim at offering security against database breaches or the case of lack of trust in any digital setting. So you can imagine self-sovereign identities as being a universal ID card for real-world usage as well as digital. Now, the goal here is to provide easy access to development tools for businesses to build their decentralized identities on IOTA. These tools will also offer full exposure to the features in a simplified manner. So this will be running the self-sovereign identity, which is one of IOTA's earliest use cases. But here's what's even crazier, and I pointed this out in another video from this week, but the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation just put down another $200 million on top of $1.27 billion allocated for technologies such as these, with an emphasis, and I quote here, the $200 million is also earmarked to support interoperable payment systems and data sharing systems. This may not seem related on the surface, but if they've already set aside $1.2 billion for it, then there's clearly a market forming. Lastly, an update on what I think is the beefiest, IOTA use case. That is the data confidence fabric. This is the use case that ties IOTA into the whole ISO conversation. After being pretty much silent since October of last year, new details have leaked by one of the developers working on the project. In a new update, lead developer with the Alvarium project, Matt Yarger, has shared new insights into the mega project. Yeager explains that the project is still on track with all participants still leading. The developers noted that the project has just completed a pilot integration of the data confidence fabric for digital MRV integration, a digital measurement, reporting, and verification tool built on IOTA's distributed ledger. This is focused on, again, the climate, SDG goals, sustainability, those things. The developer also confirmed that the project has garnered great interest from some of the largest consortiums in the world, with the same consortiums looking to integrate the project into their business. Now, first consortium that just comes to mind here, Hyperledger Foundation, but IOTA's already a member. Circle has a consortium as well, and as we reported this week, they're also looking to dive deeper into digital identity. That would be interesting because USD Circle is not on IOTA yet. Continuing, the data confidence fabric is going to be a globally connected network, which companies from all around the world will be able to source reliable data from. Dell and the Linux Foundation are spearheading this project using IOTA's Tango technology. I'm pretty sure I have several videos on the channel covering that exact subject. Feel free to check those out. But with that, that's all I got for this one, folks. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. While you're at it, don't forget about the DHN Crypto Journal for 2023. Also, our Diamond Hustle members get access to exclusive crypto documentaries and education. Just click the join button under this video to learn more. And now, to all my digit hustlers worldwide, have a great day, have a prosperous day. And most importantly, if that money is digital, so is the hustle. I'll see y'all in the next video.
3, 2, 1.
We're now entering the age of the Internet of moving things. These are connected objects with low-cost onboard sensors such as GPS, RFIDs, and beacons, and a whole host of other sensors that are moving through our cities in space and time, getting movement information and ambient information and pushing it back to the cloud. Now, when you start aggregating all this information across an entire city, not only can you start visualizing the patterns of movement across an entire city, the pulse of the city in the mornings, the afternoons, and the evenings, but more importantly, you can start to learn from it, model it, and also to start predicting it. What happens when it rains in Sao Paulo? The soccer team wins. What happens to the commuting patterns across the entire city? Which bus stops, roads, locations have 2-hour-long waiting times, and which parts of the city are completely empty? These are now the kinds of questions you can start answering by throwing more computing power in the cloud and taking the guesswork out. Crucial questions, especially as cities want to be more responsive and want to reshape their urban infrastructures for the next few years.